All right, cool. Very good morning. Gonna go over some charts. So yesterday, New York clears Asia high. Sorry, New York clears London high before pushing lower. We have called pretty much all the trades. Okay, beautifully, day in day out, consistently. So New York clears previous session's high and then pushes into Asia low. So Asia and London inventory transfer carried by New York. London opens up, leaves unresolved inventory, squeezes price action. This is a standard London session behavior where it will squeeze the entire session, pass the obligation or not the responsibility over to New York. New York will obviously, well, in this case, as you can see, New York clears previous sessions unresolved inventory 15.15, 15.45. If we just grab a simple fib from Asia high, Asia low, Asia high and Asia low, drag that across the grid, the 1.18 was tagged, okay? Break above the 1.2018. The candle that breaks the 1.18, as you can see, the higher area, probe 1, push. Remove the fib. This is delta. This is New York's delta. So if I remove New York's delta, for example, look at this. We break previous session's delta. This is the confirmation here. Okay, but really and truly, the confirmation was over here, 15.45. The break outside the delta candle. Yes, you can use the candle that breaches the delta high below. So breach below delta low. Tag the we tap the delta low. Push, push, push. Clear London low. Okay, and then we push into Asia. Look at the accuracy over here. Okay, so New York did not clear Asia low. Okay, technically speaking, this is an Asia and London inventory raid. I shared the precursor. I said, look, case study yesterday. I said, look, delta footprint identified at 9 o'clock, which is London's delta. Buy side liquidation available. Price must revisit the delta zone once discovery is complete. And this will obviously fix it. The number one issue that you may have or may not have, but the majority of the individuals in the market have a stop loss issue. So you wait for price to return to the delta candle once discovery is complete. That's the location. And this is a game changer, by the way, okay? London goes into discovery, passes over to New York. New York goes into discovery, returns to the delta. So entry, so exposure 1, exposure 2, push. Do you see this? This is a beautiful concept, okay? You're not going to see Asia and London inverse every single day. But if you can tackle these scenarios where London, mirrors Asia's inventory, things will become easier for you to trade. You don't have to trade every single session. You don't have to trade every single day. You wait for the A plus setups. So what I recommend you to do is look at my case studies that I post on a daily basis. And I've also got the market condition. And by the way, London sessions market conditions according to CIVO, yeah, a risk of liquidation. So start the session 26, end of London session 26.87. So overall London session was short inventory. Price was down, CIVO was up. risk off liquidation. So London session already confirmed that this delta is a valid location, and it will be responsive once price revisits, because the session overall, according to CVOL volatility index, if you can obviously do some research regarding volatility. I mean, you know what? I'll do a separate recording regarding the CVOL, but London session already positioned itself. Yeah, well, not the session itself, but the individuals that are making this happen for us. Okay, the individuals that are making this happen for us, or the move was pre-planted during London session, and I shared that over here. I shared this at night at 12:47. Okay, I could have gotten up slightly earlier. I got up at 7:30, but I identified it. Oh, this is not. This needs to be 9 a.m. Let's change this. Yeah, so 9 a.m. I sat down. 9 a.m. Delta. We have liquidation, which will facilitate our trade. Okay, in this scenario, get the fib from the high to the low. Stop placement if you get involved from delta high. Let's say you got involved, around these levels. Target Asia low. You want to keep your stops above the 1.27, because time again, I've seen the 1.27 breach. It's a reaction level, by the way. 1.27 breach, and the market will just tank. Okay, but nevertheless, we're not gonna use. I don't advise using fib by itself. You wanna understand the overall market truth, and the market truth was given by the by volatility index, and the delta price discovery returns to the delta. You wait, you allocate your risk, but you have to be on the desk. And I was I was literally on my desk up until for this move to happen. One of those days where you have to be on the desk, sacrifice whatever you have to sacrifice for a 500-600 pip move, and once you've allocated that risk, you can carry on with your day. Allow the market to reveal this. Okay, very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Shouldn't, don't need to. But anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to. So according to the playbook, London and New York inverse. New York completes London high. So look at this, yeah. You've got London overall downside, and then New York clears London high. Okay. It was a forced raid, but the forced raid was the discovery phase. Remember what I said earlier? And I said Asia, London, Delta, upside inventory pending. So New York had to push above London high. Otherwise, this high would have remained protected. And this is where the whole concept of key levels, come in place. Well, they're not key levels, but protected levels and levels that are not protected. So if you're wondering why Asia low wasn't cleared, it's because, look, very simple. How many people do you think went shorts here? And how many people do you think went longs here? Upon this push, just one candle, 20 before market closes for an hour. A lot of people, right? A lot of people. Let's mark out today's. Sorry, not today. Previous session. It is today actually, but previous session's inventory. So that's Asia low, Asia high. We have, again today, Asia long inventory, London short. Now we need to look at where the delta is. The sessions are first low, first time, and the breaches. And has the market accepted levels and areas? Because look, you have to understand one thing. The way the market cycles operate is very, very simple. You don't have to complicate it. Okay, it's like this. Asia cannot just continue pushing 1,000 pips to the upside and 1,000 pip back below, and then and then 1,000. You know, it cannot fulfill multiple obligations inside one session. So what happens is you get over here. Look at this. You've got short New York, long Asia. The high is pending. We need to see if delta was printed in order for London to carry, price from 47. That's a lot of weight from 4722 to 4770. Can London carry that towards New York high, and that will complete New York and Asia's inverse. But first and foremost, we need to look at where the delta is positioned, its location, and then see if Asia has completed the downside discovery in order to allow that weight to be carried. I'm not going to go into right now all of that stuff. I just wanted to just come here, just simply go over yesterday's Asia and London setup, which was a textbook trade. I've shared I've uploaded many recordings on YouTube. Have a look where I go deeply into how I look at the first low, first high, and all of that stuff. Well, to be honest with you right now, I can just go over the current market. But then you know what is that would be me giving out my entire market setup, which I don't want to be giving out publicly speaking. Okay. So yeah, look at today. You've got Asia high, Asia low. First and foremost, you want to calculate previous sessions pip range. Okay, 490 pips. And then the FIP placement 118 and 127, because the discovery will always run in, not always, but 9 out of 10, if the market needs to accept these levels, it will run into 1.18 and 1.27. Okay, I'll leave that there because I am going based off the 4-hourly. Don't be surprised if you see today's NFP continuation into 4780s and 4840s, because we do have unresolved inventory left behind, and that is the priority based off the 4-hourly. So this is the priority over here. 2200 to 2 a.m. This is the priority. We have upside discovery pending, and it has been obviously left behind for a specific reason, and that's exactly what it is. Every single person is going to try to go short, and they have been. And look what gold has been doing. Push. Just keep it simple. You don't have to use all these fancy terms and all these fancy sort of ways to describe a candle. A candle simply has an open, high, low, close. That's all it has. Do you know what I mean? A candle only has an open, high, and low close. Does that make sense? Open, high, low, close. That's all a single candle has. So don't label a candle as a doji, a bearish candle. It's just a candle. I understand. I think when we all first started out, it was dragonfly, bearish candle, bullish candle, inside bar. All of this stuff. I get that. But these are just interpretations given. Because the access to the footprint charts, the access to order flow, the access to real volume exchanges, COMEX feed, and all of that wasn't publicly available back then. Does that make sense? Obviously technology is advancing day by day, and for those of you who have been in the game for more than 10 years, just like myself, that having access to the footprint charts was difficult. And I've been using the footprint charts for about 6 years now. Okay, and it's been quite helpful. Obviously, I think this is a essential that you must have in your arsenal. Use that. I've also studied the TPO, the volume profile, and this is a different level of understanding when it comes to price action, volume, real volume. You're looking at real bids and asks. Okay, you're looking at real. Yeah, you've got probably you may have questions as to hey look, how do you read the order book of Goldspot when it's a decentralized market. You have to read the centralized market because the Goldspot follows gold futures. Does that make sense? This is a proxy, by the way. when you understand that, the doubts, the questions, and all of that stuff, it's not gonna exist anymore because it becomes you open your eyes, and if you go based on the inventory stuff that I've been speaking for quite some while now, and that's how the session dealers operate. They don't operate because they have um a fib drawn on the chart, or um this whole smart money concept, all of that stuff. That's not how it works, man. It's a hit and miss. I can I can actually, show you how it really operates from a desk perspective. You can literally walk into any of the investment banks, private equity firms, um, and have a look for yourself. Just go out there, walk in, have a look for yourself. You know, just have a look. Speak to someone, have a look, and you will see it's not. It's I'm only drawing delta candles because that's the location for the liquidation based off real volume. And if you don't believe me, go have a look at all my case studies over the last 6 months. It's all here. Back to back case studies. Back to back case studies. Okay? And you'll see that I am not chatting shit. And I'm giving you the truth. Everyone wants to feed you their own system. Draw session high here. Draw session low. I think we should buy from a fib 61. I think we Don't get me wrong, it's a good starting point. It's a very good starting point. You can learn the foundations. But when you understand, yeah, that the previous session is over here, Asia, okay? You get a mouse, buy a mouse, zoom into price action. That's session's first low. It's also a standard session low, but it's a first low. 1, 2 flat bodies to the downside. That's your first low. Look at the footprint charts. Let's have a look. Let me show you some good stuff here. Look at the footprint charts. The requirement is bullish candle, bearish delta. We have that over here. 12 o'clock. Okay, this is Asia's delta over here. Look, what a coincidence. It's actually Asia's delta. It's actually Asia's delta. So this is Asia's delta visibility. Keep it there. Cool. Downside discovery is pending first and foremost, and I can just tell you right now by looking at it because that's how it is. This is Asia's delta. 12 o'clock. Bullish candle, negative delta. Price must revisit this delta candle in order to run it, clear previous session's inventory, which is New York high. However, the discovery to the downside is pending. So what is Asia doing? Asia has set itself up for London. London has 2 jobs now. It needs to clear previous session discovery, and it needs to also balance its own session's books. But let's just go over here. Let's have a look. So that's the first low. Where's the first high? That's the first high. 1, 2, 12:45 and 1 a.m. We need downside breaches. So line the crosshair up to the first high. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 1, breach 1, and breach 2. So the first high has completed downside breaches. 115, breach 1, 130, back above, breach 2, breach 1, breach 2. It's just the first low that requires breach 1 and breach 2. So if as an example, if London decides to push over here on the crosshair up to the second candle that belongs to the first low, that can be classed as breach 1, and then very similar, back below water, back above water, very similar, 1, 2 candle formation. That's it. Don't be using bearish candle, bullish candle, all of these concepts. You're gonna confuse yourself. It's a hit and miss. You want something that is as accurate as the market is. The market is full of inefficiencies, by the way, so don't expect everything to be in line. Perfect entries, perfect this, perfect TP, whatever. That's not how it works. Just be consistent and that's it. So we have Asia's unresolved inventory to the downside pending. Okay, now it comes down to who has the priority. Let's look at the current session and see if there's London delta. Okay, this is a previous session's delta. Why did I mark up previous session delta? Because if I was trading Asia, yeah, I could have went longs. I could have went longs because it just came shy. First lows here, breach one is here, breach two. This is Asia's first lows, breach one and breach two. 12:15, 12:30, land across after 12:30. Look at that. Breach two, probe one, probe two, carry. Okay, beautiful 350, 380 pips. Now let's look at London session. So identify the first low, or the first type, whatever comes first. First low is here to 8:45, 9 o'clock. That's session's first low. So let's move over to the footprint charts over here. Okay, 8:45 and 9, that's what I said. 8:45, 9. The requirement here is a bearish candle, bullish delta. This is a bearish candle. We've got negative delta, -1. It is close. You can use that. Anything just shy of, I would say, no more than -1. This is acceptable, yeah. But I would still wait for. Hold up, we'll get there. Don't worry, we'll get there. We will get there. So that's London's first low. Okay, now look at this. Yeah, Asia long inventory. Okay, in order for London to, well, London is supposed to do the opposite of Asia, right? Because it will clear previous session inventory. So the discovery is going to be to the upside. Okay, previous session's inventory is long. London inherits previous session's long inventory, so the discovery is to the upside. So we need to identify the first low we have and its upside breaches. Okay, so first low, breach one, breach two. 9:30 is breach two. So they all are bullish candle, irrelevant. Okay, so that's the first low. Where is the first high? Let's have a look. We don't have a first high as of yet. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep in mind that this is just shy of delta. We can use it, okay? Because yesterday, same thing. 9 o'clock candle. Let me show you. It's over here. Bearish candle. Okay, it's meant to be a bullish delta, but it's -1, which is totally fine, acceptable. Yeah, nothing greater than 2. Okay, nothing greater than 2. So we are still waiting for the first high to be printed. The first low has printed breach 1. This is micro 2. This is also micro 2 because it broke the body. And the crosser up, it has broken the body. So I recommend, no, we have to. Sorry, it's not recommendation, it's compulsory. First low, breach 1. We need one more breach to the upside. Macro. This is the macro. It clears the first low, first candle, breach 1. Okay, one more breach pending for the first low. That completes the first low's upside discovery. Okay, which opens which opens all of this, the space. You have to understand, space is only unlocked once certain session structures have been printed. So if the first law is printed, but you have to look at previous session inventory as well. If you have Asia to the upside and London to the downside, Asia and London inverse, delta needs to be printed in order for this to happen. Okay, and like I said, price needs to revisit the delta candle once discovery is complete. So we know that the discovery is to the upside. Now you can trade this in 2 ways. Okay, you can trade this in 2 ways. I recommend that you wait for the first low, first high, upside breaches or downside breaches. Once the delta is printed, you can take longs into discovery, or once that discovery window is closing, wait for it to return to the delta, then short it into Asia low. Okay, if there isn't any delta printed, then we are going to have London replicating Asia's inventory, so long London. So what that means is that discovery to the downside, you long London, and London will pass over to New York, and then that carry continues. Asia low remains protected. Okay, Asia low is protected, but just to put it out there, according to the playbook, it's protected, but because Asia left unresolved inventory. It's not protected now. It'll take a while for you to understand this whole concept, but it will probably take you a day or two or three once you practice it in real time frame over here. It's gonna be a game changer for you. I mean, I'm telling you right now, like nobody's doing this. I can give you the blueprint. I can teach you. I can show you how to look at session inventory, market cycles, and all of that good stuff. But you also need to put the work in. Does that make sense? You know, you also need to wait, and have some patience. Don't get caught up in 300-400 pip moves. You want to swing these moves, and I've been swinging these moves. You know, don't get me wrong. You know, caught longs from 4-5-10, carried it. Okay, London longs, New York longs, Asia carried it. Yes, the shorts on Wednesday to the downside, and then longs over here, and then shorts yesterday. Does that make sense? I'm just going based off the market truth and session inventory. Whether you like it, believe it, or you don't believe it, it's how it is. And you'll see the consistency day in, day out. And I've been consistent. If you look at the tier 1 session rates, you can just see it for yourself. It's not a joke. I will openly show you my losses. I will openly show you my wins. You know? I'm gonna leave it there. So far I've logged 125 delta trades over here. Yeah. In the space of 3 months. Yeah. And I've got other over here. I've got other stuff from 2024, 2018, 2019, 2023, 2024, 5. It's all there, man. It's all there, my friends. But anyways, you have to identify why New York, not identify, but be vigilant. Okay, well, New York clears Asia, London high. So New York completes the London and New York inverse right away because it had to, in order to clear previous sessions inventory, in order to continue to the downside. Otherwise, because you see London left unresolved inventory, London left upside breaches over here. Sessions first low sits at 745.8. First high sits at 845.9. Do we have any upside breaches above 9 o'clock? We don't. So what does New York do? Prince breach 1, 15.15. Breach 2, 15.45. It's very simple. It's not complicated. You know, you see breach 1, you see breach 2. And guess what? And it also, broke above delta low, delta high. The candle that breaks above delta high, and it also taps at 1.18. What do you expect? What did you expect? What, you expected a breakout from it? Come on, friends. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You don't trade breakouts like that. This is where everyone gets trapped. You don't do that. This is why trading from session high, session low is not reliable. Unless, hear me out, unless it's unresolved inventory and it is breach 1 or breach 2, where, it's the final point of control before, new control takes over. Things like that, but you have to read all of that good stuff from, and you also have to see where large bulk orders are, placed. Does that make sense? And yeah, study, take some time out, over the weekend, revise on, whatever you need to. I suggest you study the footprint charts, you study the basket bid delta, you study the volume profile, TPO, you study what I'm sharing over here. And even if you don't join my group, it doesn't make a difference to me. I'm just sharing what I can share, and if it helps you, helps you. If it doesn't, then so be it. We move on, It's not rocket science, it's not complicated. We all are human beings at the end of the day, right? If you want to go out there, buy courses, pay, do it. There's nothing wrong with it. Do it. If you want to learn from other people or multiple, do it. Who cares? Do it. There's always a starting point. But be resilient and, test of will. Keep going out there. Practice whatever you can. But just remember, keep shedding your skin on a daily basis. That's how the market is. The market will keep, the market, look, you see Asia today, alright, cool, 477, alright, cool. If London doesn't print delta, then it carries it towards previous sessions, unresolved inventory over here, New York. So, London completes Asia's responsibility, and then it may pass over to New York. Well, I mean, it will pass over to New York, and then guess what? New York NFP may even dump it back below, or New York may even consolidate, and then guess what? After that, price can even just squeeze for a while. Monday we get new cycle, Asia and London carry, or Asia and London who knows? But the market would just continue moving like this, slow, steady pace, slow, steady pace. Does that make sense? Be passionate about this game, enjoy the process on a daily basis, and learn to enjoy your time in the here in the markets. Don't label what you don't understand. Don't be labeling this as some sort of um resistance or support. It's fine. It's fine, but don't stick to that. You want to be flexible when it comes to understanding what the market is doing. This You're reading candlesticks here. You're just reading candlesticks here. So what else do you expect to, know what do don't be, like I said, look, you want to understand the market truth. You want to read how the market is uploading the truth. You know, you want to understand how this volatility index operates, so you can read when a session switches from 495 to 300 price squeeze. Does that make sense? So this whole move yesterday, as an example, uh, almost just shy of, yeah, so 780 pips. Yeah, this was pre-market. It was given. London session already revealed the truth over here that it's gonna deliver a 700 pip move. That's what you want to work towards. You want to work towards, seeing how these dealers operate behind the scenes. Does that make sense? I wish you all the best. Got love for all of you. I want to help as many as I can in the markets to eradicate the noise and the FOMO, because there's money here for you to take, for you to, invest in your health and build something for yourself. Not just come here, make money, shoot off. Stay in this game for a long time and build something, whatever it may be, just to help other people as well. I'm gonna leave it there for all of you. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely, sorry, it's after. Good morning. Have a lovely day.